it's just preparing to live stream right now. As soon as it's all set, I'll get it started. Okay, we're all set. Good morning, guys. I'm sure we're gonna have more people coming in soon, although I did hear from a few saying they had other stuff going on. Thank you so much for joining me today, April 27th, 10 a.m. for another Tuesday Talks. We're gonna get started today with, let's see here. Let's get started right away with an event that's not a Desert Southwest Conference event, but it is a really important topic. You know, April is Earth Day on the 20, I think we just passed it, but still, I mean, it's always good to do something good. And right now, AFN, that's Arizona Faith Network, is coordinating with churches to become a cooling center. And so they're hosting a Zoom informational webinar type of thing on Friday, this Friday, April 30th at noon. And they've provided a Zoom registration and information link. Again, this is not a Desert Southwest Conference event, but it is something really useful, I think, for our churches, for our communities, and you know, a great way to be good stewards of the earth, right? So clearly it's way too late to add this to your newsletters or social media or whatever, but it's not too late to call or email whoever it is that's in charge of maybe your missions, or let your pastor know. I don't know if maybe UMW at your church might be interested in something like this. I'm going to include the link with the registration and more information about the site in the response email that I send after this meeting. Let's see, I'll just give you a quick preview of, here it is. So they've got quite a bit of information about, you know, that you could really just copy and paste in an email to that whoever it is that you think might be interested in it, or a whole team of people. Let them know about it, about how to become a cooling center. That's this Friday, April 30th at 12 p.m. and that's with Arizona Faith Network. That's their logo right there. They are a ministry partner of the Desert Southwest Conference, but this is not a Desert Southwest Conference event. Okay. Next, let's go to, you know what, it's 10:03. I suppose we could go ahead and get started if you guys don't mind. I invited Christopher Werps today to talk to us about the DSC-RACE Coalition's newest resources for next month. And I guess I was just about to start talking all about it, but that's what Christopher's here for. So well, I introduce you all to Christopher Werps. He's from Paradise Valley United Methodist Church. That was my husband. Go ahead. I'll turn off my mic so my husband can finish. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is a privilege to be here at this Tuesday talk, and I am thankful that Christina's been doing this hard work of coordinating between the communicating with communicators, I guess, in an effort to help bring more awareness and more activity to conference events. And so many of you know that last summer at annual conference, some of the clergy and some of the lay leaders within our conference were tasked with putting together a group or a task force, or in this, what we called ourselves a coalition, to address and create anti-racism resources and conversations within our conference. And so we called that group the DSC-RACE Coalition. And so we are, and throughout this last year, there have been several opportunities that this coalition has put forward to raise more awareness and combat racism within our churches and within our conference. We had a 21-day challenge earlier this year, which we encouraged people to read or watch or listen through a long list of various resources that over 21 days would hopefully help broaden their worldview and help them see the intersectionality of issues of race and other demographic challenges that people face. And then I know that we've done some stuff for Black History Month and Latinx History Month as well. And so as we approach May, we are mindful that May is Asian American Pacific Islander Month, and which is a great month because the weather's getting warm and people can enjoy the outdoors. And so out of all the months to have, this is easily the best. So we are putting together, so what happened was the DSC-RACE Coalition tasked a small subcommittee of people to put together 3 events or 3 different types of resources that you can take to your church and you can distribute or promote or educate people with as it relates to Asian American Pacific Islander issues, and more specifically how to combat racism and be a better ally to American or Asian American Pacific Islanders, AAPI people. So yeah, that's sort of what we were, our intentions were. And so May is right around the corner, and we are looking forward to that. So I just wanted to bring you through the 3 of the things that we have in store for you in May. We wanted to offer up 3 very simple, low engagement or low commitment ways to engage with how this idea of how to be a better ally to AAPI people, and we wanted to do it in a way that was we wanted to offer a way that was asynchronous, so people could do it on their own time. One that was remote, and then one that was one that would involved well, I guess 2 of them are asynchronous, I guess. But so the first one is on May 1st, we will be promoting and releasing a list of resources that you or your church can engage in. And what we've done is we've created a 1-sheet PDF that if you want to include in your church communication, that suggests 3 ways that you can engage with this topic of racism against AAPI individuals and communities. So something to watch, something to read, and something to listen to. A lot of times you begin looking at these lists and you're overwhelmed by the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things that are out there that are all really good. So we've curated 3 things that will not take you very long, but will be very helpful that you can pass on to your congregations. And then May 3rd, and so that's the beginning of the month. Then May 13th, we're having a panel discussion over Zoom in which we've asked people who are part of the AAPI community, clergy and laity, to share their experiences of racism and talk about how people who are part of different races, and especially people who are part of more privileged demographics, can do a better job of being better allies. And so that panel discussion will be about 90 minutes. There will be a time for Q&A, but it will be a moderated discussion. And then on the 24th, we'll be releasing a 15 to 20 minute video in which the bishop, Bishop Bob, is interviewed about his experience as an Asian American man within America, within the United Methodist Church, within the Desert Southwest Conference. But it's not just going to be a straight interview. It's going to be him and the interviewer. They're eating, and throughout the video, they'll be sampling different foods from some of the best Asian restaurants in the Valley. So it'll be an opportunity for them to talk a little bit about their experience with food, but also their experience of engaging with some of those heavier topics as well. So it's sort of a back and forth. So those are the 3, and so that's it. Those are the 3 ways that we're offering. And then what we're also doing is we have curated, a list of probably 50 or 60 other resources that we're adding to the DSC-RACE library that people can engage with as well. So yeah, we hope that we can make this job easier for you, because I know that many people within your congregations are wondering how they can do a better job of being a better ally, especially in light of some of the violence that was perpetrated against Asian Americans a couple months ago, and really throughout this last year. Violence against Asian Americans is up like 150% in 2020 from 2019, and it's all something that I'm sure we all care a great deal about in terms of how we can protect our friends, our neighbors, and the people within our life who are part of that demographic. So, any questions or anything that you wanted to inquire about regarding our project? Yes, yeah.
So my question is, where would I find, you said there was a PDF on Desert Southwest Conference. I'm looking at it right now and I didn't see anything under the, okay, I'm following you. I'm watching where you're going. So, because I couldn't find what I was looking for the newsletter.
Okay. So this is where you'll find, if you just went to dscumc.org/ds, well, you saw how I clicked into it.
Yeah.
This is where you'll find the main connections for everything. The video, it goes right to the live stream that's going to be there soon. And this is the registration link for the panel discussion. And then this one takes you to the 21-day challenge resources. It is accessible, but they're actually working on changing up how it's set up so that after it was loaded up, I'll click on it. See how to me, it looks great. It's got everything you need. Like you said, the watch, read, listen. This is part of the 21-day challenge resources. However, the team is working up a new format with this so that it's a little bit easier still, but more usable. So although it is linked now, wait till May 1st, and then you'll have the perfectly formatted one that might be easier for you guys to use. It looks easy for me, but I'm experienced with what the content is on this site. So it makes sense to me, but once they reformat it, it'll make sense for somebody that's never used this resource, or if you've used it before, it'll make sense like, oh, this is how I plug this into the actual 21-day racial equity habit building challenge.
Yeah, I was looking, like, I thought he had said there was something for the newsletter because I'm working on our May newsletter. So that's what I was looking for.
Oh yeah, so there will be so part of what we're doing is hopefully we'll be parsing out a PDF for that, and what I can do this morning still is I don't know how Christina shares resources with this group. Do you have like a shared Dropbox or shared online?
I send out an email after. Well, we do have a shared Google space, and I'm going to show that in just a bit. But after each meeting, bless you, I send out an email with links, details, all the stuff that we talked about. So all the events you talked about and the registration links that I showed, I'll include that in the email.
Great. And what I can do, well, depending on, I'll let Christina distribute this however she wants, but we also have a number of graphics and other things that you can use in your newsletters if you want to, the files for those things. And so if that would be helpful to you, we can also make those available. And what I'll do as well, Christina, is I'll do a little bit of copy for you. And so that you, like a little bit of text for you so that you can just copy and paste that into your newsletters. And Julie, who's also on the DSC-RACE Coalition, says there's a newsletter article for the May DSC newsletter that is available to use in your church newsletter as well. So Christina knows more about that.
Yeah, so that's where I was just showing now. If you go to dscumc.org/newsletter, this is last month's newsletter content, and there is one article that talks about it. It's here under Creating Disciples Stories. Again, it's dscumc.org/newsletter to access it. And I know that there's going to be another newsletter article for May about the resources as well. So if you get to this one and this is the one you prefer to use, that's fine. If you wait till Tuesday next week, you'll see the new article for May, and that'll have slightly more updated information, I'm sure.
Yes. Yep. Slightly, hopefully. So our goal was to add value to the things that your church is able to offer that is both culturally relevant to this time, but not overwhelming. And so our hope is that these three resources allow you to do that. So yeah, that'll be. And then the video interview with the bishop will be premiering live, but it will not. And be a premiere, but it will also be available on YouTube after that. So even if you want to share that on your church Facebook pages, or if you want to link to it in your digital newsletters post event, I'm sure that we would love to drive up views on that as well.
So Mary, I don't know if you overheard, Christopher's going to provide the graphics. Yeah, you're on the phone. He's going to provide the graphics for the for the May resources, a link to that, so you can use that in your newsletter stuff. And if you go to dscumc.org/newsletter, you'll see the May 30th article under discipleship stories. And then there's going to be a new article for May newsletter, which will be released next week on Tuesday, that you could use as well. Okay. And then I think Christopher's also going to provide some copy.
Yeah, we can provide some copy too. That'll hopefully help be engaging. It will be very similar to what was in the newsletter that Christina just sent.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions about the AAPI resources, or how to use them? What else is coming? No. All right. Well, thank you, Christopher. Really appreciate your time, and definitely all the energy that's got intensely creative energy that's gone into creating these resources. We so appreciate it. And, providing that copy on those newsletter articles makes it so much easier for our church communicators to be able to share the resources with their community. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah, and thank you, Christina. Thank you for all the work that you all do as communicators to the church. No one would come to anything if it wasn't for the work that you guys do.
Very true. Thank you. Okay, so what else? I had a question. I think I had actually a couple of churches ask me last week about social media training that is available. And then in the Communications Commission meeting, we talked briefly about things like that. I know that many of you have already kind of been forced to become experts in different fields in social media, if not many different channels of social media. But as we all know, things keep changing, and we learn about different techniques or tactics. One of the things that recently came out was an article about using influencers. So if you're interested in that, I'll include the link in the response email after today's meeting. But I wanted to show you, in case there wasn't an article that just came out and you need something right now, or you hired somebody new, or you've got new volunteers that want to help out and are feeling like, I need a little bit of guidance. There's always stuff that's available on demand. So whenever you need it, you can access it. I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see here. There it is, Google. Okay, so let's see, is this the one? Nope. Something else. Here we go. So if you go to umctraining.org, these are the training resources provided by the United Methodist Church Communications. And they've got all sorts of online courses that you can, some of them are free, some of them do charge a little bit, but none of them are going to be $1,500 to take. All right, so anything from improving your photos, maybe you're going to be adding more photos to your website, or you're going to do something on Instagram, and you want to have better photos for Instagram, improving how to start doing online giving, some video editing for churches. I know that's huge still. And the specific thing that I was asked about was social media for churches. So if I was to click here in the view details, it can tell you a little bit more about what this course is going to teach you, what channels it's covering. So it's pretty good stuff. I've taken some of their training courses, and can tell you they're really effective. And there's always a ton of support. It's not just watch and take your own notes, and if you have questions, too bad, so sad. There's typically some way of connecting with the trainer or following up and getting additional resources or examples. So it's pretty good stuff. I'm going to show you something else. We also have, oops, sorry. We also have a series of these purple graphic, I guess, or YouTube thumbnails. These are all what we call UM or DSC University. And there's a whole bunch of them for communications workshops. They're not all on social media. This particular one with Jeremy Brown, he came out to one of our churches. This was an in-person and Zoom training. It's an incredible workshop, not just about social media. It's really creating a communication strategy. I highly recommend it. We had a series of YouTube for churches, storytelling, and yeah, I mean, just go through the list. You'll see if you wanted to find more, what other videos there are or playlists. If you went to our YouTube channel, which doesn't look correct there, it is youtube.com/DSC. There it is, communication. Stop this video before it starts playing. Oh, well, that's us. Okay. So you can click. If you go down, you'll see the different stuff that we've had for church and society, prison reform, the IN Project, economic inequality, and here's the DSC University playlist. So there's tons and tons of videos there, but we do also have a specific one on, let's see here, I'm gonna go up here to playlists. And here's all our Tuesday talks. So if you ever missed one, you can watch them there. Let's see, finance, communications workshops, here we go. So this is back to that same list that we were at. But I just wanted to show you the many different, like the library of videos that we have available online for you guys, or for your communities. It could be something that's not really so much about communications. It might be things for United Methodist Women or the different DSC-RACE Coalition videos. If you guys started doing a workshop on domestic violence, and there's tons and tons of resources available on our YouTube channel. All right. Any questions about that? No? Okay.
I have just a real quick question.
Yeah.
If there's a video that we see that we'd like to use, can we ask you for a link for download?
Yes.
There was a UMW video that we were trying to download and we weren't able to.
Great question. Thank you so much. Whether it's on our channel or United Methodist Church channel, I mean, not any church, I mean, as in the denomination, email me if you're trying to get a video and I can help you get that. I either have access to it or I might know the people and can reach out to them to ask them for the video. In some cases, I imagine there might be videos that were put out that has music in the background or whatever. And so if you were going to live stream it, then, please be sure to let me know so that I can also find out if there's any copyright licensing considerations for you guys. All right. Any other questions about that? Okay. And sometimes some of the stuff that we've got available, I try to remember to make the YouTube thumbnail available as well, but every now and then, whether it's an online worship that we're offering or something else like that, that we're saying, hey, churches, download this and use it in your channels. Once in a while, I forget to include something like that. Don't hesitate to ask. If you need it, other churches are going to need it too. So you're actually doing me a favor by saying, hey, you forgot something, then other churches will have it too. Okay. What else? Oh, and you know what I'm really excited about is we're going to have pretty soon, maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks. Hopefully this will launch something new. So yesterday I was in a meeting where one of the Communication Commission people was sharing his experience with kind of in the line of fire. I learned how to become a digital evangelist. That turns out there's a lot to do with hosting online worship besides all the technical video stuff, like being a warm and inviting person online to say, hey, nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. We're this type of community and let me help you navigate around this online presence. This particular church has actually increased their membership, I think, or was it just the attendance? I think it was membership during COVID. How crazy is that? And they couldn't even meet in person. So how does that happen? How can you as a communicator help make that happen? Or how can you provide these resources so that maybe that shining star, that evangelist at your church can take a part, feel comfortable with being that warm and inviting presence for strangers online on behalf of your church? So this person, his name is Paul Gomez. He happens to work for UMCOM, but he is a Desert Southwest Conference member. His dad's a pastor here. He's a great guy. I've seen him growing up. And he is going to be sharing some quick tips of here's what he learned. So I'm hoping that this is going to be something new, you guys. If you've had to go through some struggle in communications and you feel like you've got a decent handle on it, you might not be the best in the world, but you figured something out that could be useful for other churches, let me know. Let's give you some time to share your experience, your struggles, and some good tips for others to learn from. And I mean, that's really one of the main purposes of these gatherings, is to share our knowledge so we can all become better. So Paul is going to join us. He couldn't join us today, but he will be joining us in the future to share those quick tidbits. I don't know if it'll be his one main recommendation or top 5 things to do. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. And this could also potentially be a starter for a different training series, or whether it's a YouTube video or articles that we put out, who knows? But, you know, all ideas are welcomed. Any tips, I love them. Please keep that in mind. And it might not be you, it might be somebody else at your church that has these incredible insights. So invite them on over, send me an email and I'll get them the invitation information. All right, next items that I want to share with you is just a couple other events that are coming up soon. One of them is on May 6th, so it's right around the corner. It's a panel discussion on Zoom with the Economic Inequality and Criminal Justice panel. So it's Economic Inequality team. They invite experts in that field and they really pick apart what's going on. How does economic inequality impact criminal justice? I've attended many of these before because I'm kind of behind the scenes getting everything ready. And let me tell you, even if it's something that you're not necessarily passionate about yet, attend these panel discussions and my goodness, you find out a lot of really interesting information and many times things that you can do differently or things that you can participate in from that point on. Who knows? I mean, if you guys have, I don't know, a mission group, a UMW group, someone at your church that might have a passion for this type of thing, share this information with them. I'll include the registration link in our email after this meeting. It's Economic Inequality and Criminal Justice panel discussion. It starts at 7 p.m. on May 6th. They're usually about an hour and a half. Any questions about that?
Just real quick, will the video be available for people who can't join live?
Yes, thank you. So it will be live streamed on YouTube, and then I'll share it on Facebook as well. So if you went to the youtube.com/DSC Communications, there's a whole Church and Society playlist. It'll be there. And it's also, so I'm going to share my screen one more time because I'm curious how this works for others. I haven't tested it and I always think about it. So if I go to videos, I can see here in order. No, that's not. Well, you can see in order the last things that have played. So, if that's one way of sharing it, but I will send you guys the link. Once it's all done, I'll send it like as a follow-up so you don't have to search. What I was curious about is if when I go to my videos, which you guys wouldn't see this because this is me signed into the account, I can see which ones were live. and I can go back and look for that specific whatever. So I was just curious if you guys could see that, but I answered my own question. So I will send you guys the link to that recording after it happens. Okay, next item is another very interesting panel discussion by Church and Society. This one's on May 18th. It starts at 7 p.m. I'll send you guys a registration link to participate via Zoom. And it's Gun Violence Awareness Task Force is hosting a panel discussion. Same thing like the previous one. They invite experts in the field. Sometimes it's people that are sharing their experience with gun violence. So it's survivors once in a while, but a lot of times it might be legislators, whether it's your city government people or state government people that are some of the panelists. Sometimes it's, I could go in and tell you all the names of the people and maybe they mean something to you. I'm not in that realm, so I don't really know exactly what it means, but when you actually won't even see them when you register, but if you want that, would that be helpful for you guys to know exactly who the panelists are? Should I include that? Yeah, Jim's nodding yes. Okay, I will do that. I'll include it in the email after today or after today's meeting. And yeah, so that's all I had for today. Anything new from you guys or other questions you got lingering?
Just to go back to what you were talking about with the gun violence, when you go to register, there are extensive bios for all the speakers.
Oh, thank you. Let's see, there you go. So, but I will send you guys that registration link so you've got it handy and you can send it to whoever you need to. We might even have some, yes, we do have a write-up. I was gonna say, you're right, Chris, because she was thinking it. There is a brief write-up about the event and the panelists. So yeah, so you'll have something to share. I'll link to that. Any other questions or comments? No? I feel like a winner because we got through this meeting today without construction sounds in the background. I'm happy about that. It's 10:33. With nothing else, then I guess I'll see you guys next week. Hi, everybody.